What's up, IOR190G? This is Larry. This week I want to talk briefly a bit about DraftKings and FanDuel. I'm sure for any of you sports fans in the class, you've seen at least one commercial from either of the two companies. And I'm going to be talking briefly about them too, but mostly I want to focus on DraftKings. Basically, they're a huge company who have grown to have millions of dollars in revenue off of daily fantasy sports that are play for money. So basically, a lot of states are determining whether this is considered gambling. But as of now, this is just fantasy sports, and people just kind of play in, put in a few dollars. They have a lot of pots, and they have a lot of winners. Interestingly enough, they don't have any patents. Their main competitor, FanDuel, which is also another big company who has basically the same business model, they also have zero patents. So that's a really interesting scenario where we see two companies in the same market have zero patents, and yet they basically dominate the market. We're seeing, a few other minor players creep in there. Like Major League Fantasy was a small player that I kind of read about. They got bought out. Yahoo's trying to jump into it, and Yahoo is going to be a serious player because they have a lot of patents on this. But regardless, DraftKings and FanDuel are in a very risky situation, and you can see that today as they're getting sued over their entire business model, over the software pieces that they're using. It's going to be interesting to see how they should develop their patents, because I truly think that DraftKings should kind of develop the patents as they go on, and that should be their strategy. Because relatively, this is a new market in terms of, not fantasy sports in general, but, fantasy sports for money. And so once the litigation clears up, I feel like once you figure out how to label whatever it is you're doing, they should be able to patent it, and that'll give them a lot of work in the future. So basically, I think any kind of product that they're coming out with, anything that they're working on, they should start patenting as soon as they can. Otherwise, they're gonna fail, and they're gonna just keep getting sued by patent trolls, and they're gonna keep losing. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what happens in this market. The market keeps growing, but neither of the two companies have patents, so it's gonna be very interesting to see how this whole scene folds out.